I feel like you're acting like you're the first woman to be divorced and you're the first woman that's left with 2 children to fend for. I've been doing it for 14 years. Welcome to the club.
Girl, I've been doing it for
nowhere.
16.
Okay?
16.
Okay, with 16 your son that don't like you. My son loves me.
How do you know
Let's talk about that. Stop always making it about you. Start the conversation and say hello. Bitch! Your son hates you! Your son hates you, bitch! You monkey! You blue monkey!
Hey y'all, I'm back with another video, and y'all, I wanted to come on here and touch briefly on this recent sit-down interview Erica Mena did on NeNe Leakes' new podcast show. So for those that are unfamiliar with Erica, she is a former cast member of the Love and Hip Hop New York franchise. At this point, she's probably most well known for just being the scoring baby mama to Nicki Minaj's ex-boyfriend and professional hype man, Sabari. Now, as y'all saw in the initial clip I attached, a few years back, Erica made headlines when she got into an argument with renowned dancehall artist Spice, who was also a cast member at that time on Love and Hip Hop. And as you saw during their argument, Erica began to hurl racial slurs at Spice, calling her a quote-unquote blue monkey, after which point she received a ton of backlash and was rightfully removed from the show and not so low-key just canceled altogether. However, fast forward to this week where Real Housewives alumni NeNe Leakes offered her a platform for Erica to come on and discuss the previous controversy with Spice where the racial slurs were hurled. So let's take a listen to a snippet of the interview, and then I'm going to come back with some final thoughts.
You were talking about that thing happened over at Love and Hip Hop, which was the thing
with the
that
thing
happened with you and Spice. You've moved on from that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you've moved on from that now. But I mean, how was that moment? It was a because I reached out to you during that moment. If you remember?
Did. So you were one of the very few that did reach out, and I appreciate that. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing too. I feel like anyone who's ever had a real moment with me in life will know, like, okay, yeah, that was wrong, but that's not like what you're trying to say about her is not right. So I appreciate that, especially being, you know, an African American woman that's been scrutinized just as much as I have on TV. And obviously, we're not the ones to come forward. So we, you know, we do set a certain precedence or whatever. But I appreciate the fact that you did reach out because, you know, it just goes to show you, like, you really know who I am. So I appreciate that. It was a trying time, obviously, because you got a chance to see, like, who was what.
Yeah. But some people too, and when things like that happen, I think some people don't know what to do
because they want to be so political. Yeah,
and especially with things like that. I think people don't know whether I should say something, should I support, should I not support? Like, people are afraid. Yeah, because you really in that moment you're walking on like eggshells. People are afraid for their careers, and I don't know.
And I think too, what makes it scary for people, believe it or not, is people being authentic in any kind of way. They get attacked on social media, and then there's this quick, oh, let's cancel, and people are quick to like throw that cancel kind of thing out there. And it's just like, at the end of the day, no matter what you guys say in the comments, like, God has his plan for everybody individually. So even in the trying times where on TV, you know, we may do something that's unfortunate and probably, you know, not the best of who we are, that doesn't mean like someone's life is completely over just because the world feels some type of way. And honestly, it was a catch-22 because it was 50% people on her and 50% people on me. It was like even down the middle. But even that, like putting 2 women who shouldn't even been in the situation in the first place to, you know, against each other, it's always kind of unfortunate. But at the same time, it's like, it's part of the game, and you just kind of have to stand firm on who you are. And, you know, that's why too I give so much, like, I love Bambi. Like, everybody knows like my relationship with Bambi, but you don't have a lot of people that like, even still, like, because I was obviously off the show, but even still now, I gotta see my friend being attacked by this certain individual just because she knows how much of a friend she is to me. And she just rides the wave, and she's been riding the wave since it happened. But there's certain people like that in my life that, you know, and she got scrutinized so bad for, you know, standing up for me in the way she was supposed to. But it came and went, but she stood 10 toes down. So as far as like, you know, people are scared, this, that, and the third, it's more about how real you are, you know, about a situation.
Yeah. Do you think that some fans felt like you got a pass because you weren't black? Do you think you got a pass?
I don't think there's a pass or anything like that. I think it's genuinely wrong.
Some people would have gotten completely canceled, and because you're not black, you didn't get canceled.
I mean, I don't want to point fingers, but I've had women who are really like white on Love and Hip Hop who've actually said the word.
Yeah.
You know, and not saying it's right because obviously growing up in New York, the word is kind of like used as a homie kind of thing. And I feel like, you know, whatever. But I have been viral for years when I did the scene with Rich Dollars and he gave away my song and I'm like, you can't trust nobody, not even the end that you sneak with. That was so viral. It went all over the place for years and years and years and years. And not saying it's right, but I definitely said the word in that. And it was never an issue then. But it became an issue when, you know, at the end of the day, it's kind of like, I don't know, I guess it was, you got another woman who's obviously a lot darker than me. She came at me in regards to my son. And a word that, yes, has been used to racially kind of, defame, or what do you say, to belittle a race at one point in time. It wasn't said because I was racist. I said it because it was a more of an appearance thing. It wasn't skin related at all. And I say all that to say that people have selective outrage because this is the woman you guys are going like so hard for, but she literally went viral, or should I say had a whole media campaign about becoming a white woman and how proud she was to bleach her skin, or I don't even know what her MO was at that time. But it just goes to show you, like, people just at the end of the day have selective outrage because I feel like it was because of me. I'm used to being kind of hated one week and then you know how it is with us when we're on air. Sometimes they're riding for us, sometimes they're against us. So and I've been like that 15 years. So I have more people that hate me than root for me. So I feel like that was their time.
You think so? I don't know that you do. I don't know that you
think
do.
no?
No, I don't think that you do. I don't. So can you tell me, like, what is your nationality?
I'm Puerto Rican and Dominican. So my dad's Dominican, my mom's Puerto Rican.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's unfortunate.
You have black
but,
children.
Yeah, I have black children, and I'm definitely far from racist. You know, I grew up. All my friends are black. I have Jamaican best friends. Like, you know, it's just Jamaican throughout my blood. I'm not the only one in my family that has black children. So, you know, it's just unfortunate. Like I said, it's definitely something that I want to put behind me. I'm blessed that God has given me an opportunity to kind of push forward because that could have been something that ultimately stopped me. But no, God turned around, gave me my own dating show. It was beyond successful to the point that the ratings, you know, if I was to walk anywhere and say this is my ratings, I'm pretty sure, you know what I mean? So I'm in a great place.
Okay, so y'all got to hear the gist of what Erica had to say. And to be honest, I am not surprised by her response and zero remorse. Erica has never publicly, genuinely apologized for her actions. I think I've seen 2 or 3, I think this makes the 3rd interview I've seen her do since that incident, and she never apologized. She's never taken accountability for what she said and has instead always deflected to talking about how Spice was talking about her son. Mind you, during their argument, Spice never once disparaged Erica's actual son, you know, her oldest child, by the way, that she left with her parents to raise while she ran around chasing Z-list rappers back in the day. And in the actual argument, if you listen to it, Spice attacked Erica's parenting skills, or lack thereof, by bringing up the fact that her son hates her. That was not an attack on Erica's actual son, it was an attack on Erica's character as a parent. But of course, being the low vibrational, lying manipulator that she is, Erica reframed the story to make not only herself out to be a victim, but her child, and using that as an excuse for why she called a black woman a monkey. And the same way she used manipulative, revisionist history to victimize herself, in that same clip, she was also telling half-truths about Spice running a campaign about wanting to be a white woman, when in actuality, Spice was a part of a campaign bringing awareness to skin bleaching and the skin bleaching epidemic in Jamaica and its harmful impact on citizens of her country. And okay, even so, let's play pretend that Spice was truly a self-hating woman that wanted to be a white woman. Even though we all know that's the furthest thing from the truth, let's pretend there is actually some validity to that. What relevance does that have to the topic at hand? And why would that make it okay for Erica to use a racial slur to describe her, right? Like, let's say that Spice is battling some kind of inner self-hate. What does that have to do with Erica calling her a monkey? Like, those are 2 separate issues, right? And she even admitted herself, Erica admitted herself, she knows those kinds of slurs have a history of being used against Black people to ridicule them. So there's no way that she did not know in that moment what she was saying and the harmful effects of it. And I'm not gonna lie, I was more annoyed than anything at NeNe for platforming this bigoted loser who clearly had not learned her lesson, clearly just as racist and colorist as she's always been. And I expect nothing less when it comes to women like Erica. Like I said before in my last video in regards to like Janae and Kenny, when it comes to Caribbean Latinos, I already know how they get down and how they have some of the highest tendencies in the diaspora to be outwardly racist and hateful towards Black people. Like I already know that it's deeply embedded in their culture to be hateful, and their go-to slurs are always to call us primates. Like that's a fact. Like that's just like a known thing. I've dated people within the cultures, have lifelong friends within those cultures, and that's how they get down. And they will tell you themselves, the ones that are very self-aware and very intelligent and very mindful of how their communities operate, they will be honest about the level of hatred and animosity that occurs and is aimed at towards Black people within those communities, and the kinds of slurs and verbiage that they use to describe us, right? And the Erica Mena types who tend to default to low vibrational colorist Black males as the primary ones that they go for outside of their race, they're usually the main ones that act like that. They're usually the main ones that are struggling with all of that own inner hate on their own side. And their go-to thing when they're feeling cornered, right, is to usually punch down on Black women or anyone darker complected than them because they feel less than, right? That's why they tend to date down, right? Because they can't date men within their own community because they don't want them, because they see them as low-hanging fruit. So I expect this level of nonsense from Erica because Erica is just being who she's been for the last decade. But for NeNe as a Black woman to sit up and allow this crypt keeper looking lady to defend her right to call another Black woman racial slurs without checking her, and instead being like, oh well, you have Black kids, knowing damn well that Erica's children are mixed at best. And I'm highly disappointed again. But again, I'm not surprised because the Black people in the media, Black public figures, have a really nasty habit of platforming the worst individuals who make their disrespect for Black women very known and very loud, right? Like y'all stay putting a mic in their faces and giving these people all the grace in the world. Not once throughout the clips that I watched did I see NeNe actually challenge or fact check Erica at all. I mean, if anything, she was making it seem like she was on Erica's side, and that the only reason she didn't really want to come out publicly and support her was because she didn't want to get canceled, or she didn't want to seem like she was being politically incorrect. And it's not about being politically incorrect. It's about not co-signing hatred, like not co-signing actual racist ideologies, right? And she just responded the complete opposite of like the Carlos King interview, which I highly recommend y'all check it out. You know, Carlos actually held Erica's feet to the fire over her comments about Spice and told her straight up that what she did was wrong, and actually brought up the fact that she was speaking that way and using those slurs, knowing that she does have half Black children, a half Black daughter at that, is very irresponsible, right? NeNe wasn't given that kind of energy at all. But again, not surprising, considering I believe personally that NeNe is dealing with a lot of self-hatred herself, and I think she personally has a lot of animosity towards other Black women that she's grappling with. And it was also not lost on me to how Erica made it a point to mention how she was still able to maintain a successful career after outwardly degrading and disrespecting Black women. Like, as she was ending that clip, talking about how she had a successful dating show that, once again, on a platform, all Black streaming network, Zeus, as well as her Tubi movie career, which again is probably being heavily funded and promoted by Black people. Now, what kind of message does that send? You know, what do you all think that sends as a collective when time and again you allow individuals outside of your culture to disrespect and violate the women in your community without fear of being canceled or losing their livelihood. It sends the message that we don't care about protecting Black women or looking out for Black women. When you give platforms to openly colorist, hateful individuals like Erica Mena, giving them room to be their quote-unquote authentic self, as Erica put it, which obviously just translates to her feeling free enough to call people slurs whenever she feels like it. It just goes to show that you, NeNe Leakes, as a Black woman, you don't care about other Black women. You don't care about protecting their image and uplifting them, because you much rather stand for and defend another woman outside of your culture who thinks it's okay to compare women that look like you to primates. Y'all, that's all I have to say on this topic. I'm so done with NeNe, and I'm done with a lot of these Black media outlets at this point. Let me know your thoughts. Leave a comment down below. Until next time, I'll see y'all soon.